Action Comics #1. Not only is it the first appearance of Superman, but it's the first appearance of any superhero, ever. And just like most things that unexpectedly changed the world, it almost never existed. By 1938, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster had pitched their Superman idea to several newspapers and magazines, only to be met with constant rejection. Finally, National Allied Publications, which would later become DC Comics, was facing a tight deadline and needed something thrilling for the main story of their next series. With no time to solicit new material, Superman was found in a pile of rejected proposals, and they were like, well, this'll do. The young creators were paid $130 for it, and copies sold for 10 cents. More than 70 years later, a copy sold for a record $3.2 million, making it the most valuable comic book in existence, and premiered a character that would go on to be one of the biggest pop culture phenomenons of all time. And this is how I know I'll never have access to a time machine, because if I did, I would have gone back and gotten one and given it to myself already. Oh well. But I can do the next best thing, and that's make a perler bead tribute to the very pages that started the superhero genre. Jerry and Joe were thinking differently, and in that spirit, I'm going to try something different too. I'm going to make this piece so it displays the unironed side of the beads, which means I'll have to make the design backwards and then flip it over for the canvas. Join me, won't you? Up, up, and away! Okay, that's the first piece. Now I'm going to go over it slowly with my iron, working my way from one side to the other. Once everything is fused, I'll take it off the boards and keep ironing on the flat table. I want all these holes to be closed. Then I'll put heavy books on top to keep it flat while it cools. Now the second piece. This is the same process, but ironing stuff like this can be tricky because of all that empty space. It can be really easy to knock over beads on the outside there, so just be very careful and take your time. Try to fuse each board pretty well before moving on to the next one. I'm going to be gluing everything to the 16 by 20 inch canvas I painted earlier. You can see I just focused on the middle here because the top and bottom are going to be covered with the perler bead pieces. When you're gluing pieces that go right to the edge of the canvas like this, it's important to line it up well. You'll have a few seconds to adjust before the glue takes a firm hold. I'll add a couple of smaller pieces here to complete the cover, and voila! A pixel-perfect tribute to the comic that changed the world. What do you think? Could I sell this for $3.2 million? What about in 70 years? Hey, I can dream. If you want to make your own tribute to Action Comics #1, you can click it right there to get my complete pattern guide. It comes with the detailed grids and an exact bead count of every color you'll need, as well as some really helpful placement info. It's also a great way to show your support for the Pixel Art Shop and help me make more projects and videos. Have fun, my friends.
You've got to stop blowing your money like this, Krusty.
No can do.